Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Shacknews' E3 2017 live stream. I'm Andrew. I'm here with Donovan, and we have the fantastic Aaron and Sean talking about Call of Duty and the multiplayer. Gentlemen, how are you? How are you feeling about E3?
Oh man, it's really great to be here. Really excited. You know, we just got to unveil multiplayer to the fans, and it's been an awesome reception so far. Fantastic.
Let's jump right into that. With Call of Duty, you know, it's very known for its multiplayer gameplay. What is World War II bringing for the fans?
Well, it's really, you know, it's been a real honor to really go back to Call of Duty's roots, you know, back to boots on the ground, back to that gun-on-gun gameplay, back to that grit, that the blood, you know, just the raw, you know, brutality of what that brings. You know, it's been really exciting for us to go back and really honor that tradition of Call of Duty.
Okay, awesome. Now with World War II, you know, you got to get the historical accurate maps. Can you talk a little bit about the maps that we'll be playing on in your multiplayer?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll actually turn that over to Sean to give us a little bit of a map.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been awesome, you know, working on getting to work on World War II, Call of Duty MP. It's been a long time since Call of Duty's been there, about 10 years.
Okay.
The maps that we're showing today, we've got Ardennes Forest here, which we're looking at now. Yeah, it's just it's a map set in Battle of the Bulge. So what's been really cool is just doing all the research and learning about the history of what went on in these places, and that's been really important for us to be able to kind of, you know, bring, you know, obviously awesome multiplayer gameplay, but also bring a little history to it. So if you know, go and pop Ardennes Forest into Google, you can kind of look and see what the actual history is, what went on there actually in World War II, which has been really awesome. So the other map that we're showing is Point du Hoc, which is a kind of bunker trench complex. It was part of the invasion of Normandy on D-Day. So again, just really cool history there. There were really important Allied operations that happened at that location. So it's just really cool to be able to, you know, create that kind of environment for our players to experience MP gameplay in. So yeah, it's been awesome.
So we know that one of the new game modes you guys are bringing to Call of Duty World War II is War Mode. Could you just tell our viewers a little bit about what War Mode is, what made you guys want to put in the game, just give me some details on it?
Yeah, definitely. So War Mode is something that I'm personally super excited about, really passionate about. It's, you know, so for the first time, we wanted to put players into, you know, what really feels like a World War II battle in Call of Duty MP. And so these are kind of narrative-driven, objective-based gameplay where there's an overarching mission objective. There's a reason why you're there, and it makes sense in the context of the war. So the map that we're playing at E3 today, it's called Operation Breakout, and it's based around the Allied push out of the beachhead at Normandy. So your primary mission objective is to destroy some artillery emplacements, and everything that you do along the way is leading towards that ultimate mission objective. So it's really, you know, creating combinations of gameplay that players haven't seen before in Call of Duty MP. So you're doing all these things that soldiers did in World War II. You're capturing territory, you're building a bridge so that your armored units can cross the bridge and your infantry units can cross that bridge. You're destroying an ammo depot, so your tank can move up past, and then you're escorting your tank to the artillery emplacements, so your tank can take out the artillery emplacements. So really, you know, putting a fictional wrapper around it, the context of the mission, and just trying to create kind of the most pure version of the World War II battle experience in Call of Duty MP. So super excited about it. Really excited to just have people finally see it and get to play and experience it.
Okay. Interesting. I will admit the last Call of Duty game I played was Black Ops 3, so I can't speak much for Infinity War. But in that multiplayer, there was, you know, tiers, level tiers that you can go. Like verticality was very important in that game, and the maps were very small and very fast-paced. Obviously, I don't think that kind of works for World War II. So how are you guys treating the maps and the gameplay in the multiplayer?
Yeah, so obviously that's a change for sure. I think if you look back over the history of Call of Duty MP map design, there's always been plenty of verticality involved, right? It's different, right? We're boots on the ground. That actually creates some interesting opportunities to go back to a little bit more kind of tactical cat and mouse kind of gameplay where you're using the environment in you know, interesting ways. So there's always been a level of verticality. That's no different with our maps. We've got vertical elements. You're getting up into the second stories of buildings and, you know, things like that. So that's something that we always account for, and something that there's plenty of there.
Okay, cool, awesome. Now with Call of Duty, you know, customization is very important to players, especially in multiplayer. Can you talk about some of like the loadouts that people can customize, and maybe even how they can customize the characters themselves?
Sure. Yeah, I'll pass it back to Aaron for that one.
One of the things that we're really excited about are the divisions. So with character customization, we felt we had a really good opportunity to relook at Create a Class, which is known and something that we've loved in the past, but we really felt like it was time to really look at that system. With World War II, you know, we realized this is something that we can really take a new look at, and that brings us division. So you're gonna get, you know, enlisted, and you're gonna enlist into one of 5 key iconic divisions into World War II. And that just adds a whole new development to your career, to how you're going to load out your character and customize it. And so you'll still be able to customize your character and do all the things that you are used to doing, but it's going to be in a whole new way that adds a really new dynamic to Call of Duty.
Fascinating. Awesome, man. Cool.
So I know a big part of multiplayer in Call of Duty for the last couple of games, I believe, has been the supply drop system. So will that be coming back in any way or fashion in Call of Duty World War II?
Well, we're not yet ready to talk about supply drop, so you'll get that in a later date.
All right, cool.
Can you talk a little bit about any other game modes that players can play? Like, will there be like deathmatch? Will there be other like classic type of game modes in there? And have you like put the Call of Duty spin to them?
Absolutely. I think we'll have a lot of the classic kind of Call of Duty modes that people are familiar with, and then War Mode is the one that we've been really focused on at E3, and so there'll be more things coming in the future that we can share.
Okay, fantastic, awesome.
Actually, so one more thing to talk about is headquarters, which is a really cool thing. So kind of outside the match, kind of addition to the game. It's definitely one of the biggest new things that we're offering in the game. It's basically the setting for it is Omaha Beach, D-Day +3. So kind of after the Allied kind of push into the beachhead, and so you've got, you know, all your ships pulled up on the beach, and it's kind of become like a forward operating base for the Allies as they continue the push into Normandy. And that now becomes kind of a social space for players, where it's you and 47 other players, so 48 players total, that you can kind of party up with your friends. There's really cool things that you can do, like there's a 1v1 pit in there, so you can kind of challenge people to 1v1 matches, which is really cool.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's just a really cool new thing in the game. You know, the firing range is actually a part of that as well. So firing range is accessible from, you know, the class customization as well, like it has been in previous in Advanced Warfare. But now also in the headquarters, you can walk up to the firing range and you can see, you know, you can be in there with other players doing the firing range at the same time in kind of a semi-competitive way, which is really awesome. So that's another thing that we're super excited about. And
yeah, awesome. Now with Call of Duty, you guys have been inching towards the future, into like, you know, the scientific future, but now you guys are jumping back into World War II, your roots. What is it like trying to craft the multiplayer back to more realistic and maybe a little more rudimentary technology than you guys have been used to?
Yeah, I mean, it's been cool. It definitely gives us some creative challenges. You know, there's things that our fans expect out of Call of Duty games, and but it's given us some really cool opportunities too to look back and kind of pay homage to some of the classic Call of Duty games, which has been awesome too. So, and I think, you know, we're kind of striking a really nice balance of the classic and the new, and we're just excited that we're able to bring that back to players.
Awesome. Is there anything that you guys have learned from your past Call of Duty games that you're gonna go like, okay, well that didn't work so well in our previous games, so we want to tweak it, or like, hey, that really worked, so let's try and give it a World War II spin to it?
That's actually a really interesting, yes, to answer your question, yes. I mean, I couldn't even count the number of lessons that get learned. I mean, we learn lessons from you know, previous games that we do, the other Call of Duty games in the series. We're looking at everything. We listen to the fans a lot as well, and listen to what our community wants out of the games. And the World War II thing is a good example of that too. Is it's something that the community's been talking a lot about. There's been a lot of buzz about it, and you know, when the prospect came up to go back and do World War II, it was something that we were really excited about. So yeah, lessons learned in I mean, so many different ways, from core gameplay to map design and.
Awesome. Now with Call of Duty, you guys have it back in your hands again, and it's kind of a cornerstone of gaming culture. What's it like getting it back into your own control and trying to shape it into your own way?
You wanna?
Sure. I think for Sledgehammer Games, if you think of our history, we were founded in 2009, and the crew and the development team has been together now. We started with Modern Warfare 3, which is sort of a modern Call of Duty game, and then we went to Advanced Warfare, kind of doing very future kind of leaning game. And now with World War II, we're kind of back to the roots. So I really feel like as a developer, it's just been such a rich, kind of when you were talking about what have we been learning, and now it's kind of really kind of be able to go back to the roots for that boots on the ground gameplay. And it's something I think as a developer, we couldn't be more honored and excited to kind of really get this game out there.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's amazing.
So I wanted to ask you guys about weapons. So we know your last Call of Duty was Advanced Warfare, I believe. Yeah, so that game had a lot of futuristic weapons, lasers, all sorts of stuff. So in this game, you kind of had to go back to the original, like some of the first weapons that were used in war in America, not America, in the world. So just tell me, how was that going back to these like core weapons?
It was really, really interesting. I mean, I think we've done a lot of research for this game, obviously. We worked with our military historian, who's been great, and so we've had a chance to even, get our hands on and look at a lot of these weapons. And they really just go back to, there's so much variety there. Sometimes we thought initially, we were like, wow, is this going to be restrictive? But it's really quite the opposite. There's so much rich sort of history and so many different, countries that were involved. So you get all of that as well. So it's been really fascinating to be able to tap into that and get those things, playable, and it feels really awesome.
All right, cool.
I think one thing I would add there too is one thing that's part of the division system that we're bringing is weapon skills, and that's something kind of new that we're doing where depending on your chosen division, you get kind of a unique weapon ability. And some examples of that are the airborne division has the ability to put a suppressor on their gun at any time. The armored division, primarily focused on kind of heavier weapons, explosives, they can actually take LMGs and kind of mount them on a bipod on any kind of surface in the map, and that gives you more stability, more accurate fire. So that's a cool thing. The rifle, the infantry division, primarily focused on rifles, gets bayonet. So that gives them the bayonet charge, where you're kind of running through, doing that kind of real visceral, like running through, like in Point to Hawk is a great example. I love running through the trenches with a bayonet and just you're kind of running through doing your bayonet charge, hoping to catch that guy coming around the corner. It's super satisfying. So that's a cool thing that we're doing with the weapon system as well.
Awesome. Now, you guys are using this, I guess it's now gen, it's no longer next gen. So like you guys are here in the now gen with the Xbox One and PS4, even the Xbox X and the PS4 Pro. How has using that technology really helped create your World War II multiplayer?
Yeah, so obviously, we're excited about the possibilities with both of those systems, the PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One X. I don't think we're discussing too many details about what specifically we're doing, but obviously there's a lot of benefit there for sure.
Fair, that's fair. I have a question. I don't know if you guys can answer it, but have you guys considered esports into your multiplayer, or like how have you implemented that into your design?
So esports, super high priority for the company. It's something that we care a lot about. We're going to be discussing esports more in the next couple of months. We're not talking too much specifically about it, but it's super important to us as a company, as a franchise. And
okay, awesome. With the Call of Duty multiplayer, you guys have very close combat, visceral action. But it seems like with your war mode, it's more grandiose and there's more objective based. How do you guys balance doing those, the actual war objectives with that close combat action that Call of Duty is known for?
That's one of the really cool things about war, actually, is that you have such range to the gameplay where, as an example, in the map that we're showing today, you start out in a very close quarters objective where you're capturing a manor that's kind of a forward operating point. And you're approaching the manor, the defenders are in the manor, kind of defending against the attackers that are coming in. And so gameplay moves inside the house, which gets really tight and really kind of, just intense gameplay. after that, you move on to this objective where the Allied side is building a bridge to allow the armored division across, and then you get this really cool side-on-side, a little bit longer range, a little bit more separation between the attackers and the defenders, and it creates a really cool dynamic, and it gives you really good reasons to want to change up your classes and change up your kind of team strategy. So that's one thing that's really, really interesting that I love about War, is that it provides that element of changing gameplay, close quarters here, a little bit more distance here, sniping and shotguns, and it's really cool. I think players are really going to like it.
That's really diverse. That's also fantastic. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I think we are about up for time. So, Aaron, Sean, thank you so much for joining us on this stream.
Thank you,
and thank you, folks, for joining us on our E3 2017 stream. We're going to take a quick break. I know you guys really want to see more games, so we're going to, catch our breath, drink some water real quick, and then we'll be back with more video games for you guys to see. So just hold on tight, and we'll be right back.